That is stumbling block that we are talking about is coming from Leviticus 19. And it says, do not put a stumbling block before someone who is blind. As long as you're bringing this stuff in a context of edification, is okay. If it's out of how it's going to benefit someone, it's not okay. It's as simple as that. Do you understand that? So with your tongue, you can destroy another brother in the way you explain something.
We are on the Offensive Generation series. We've done, today's the fourth one, right? I kept mixing it up yesterday because we were doing talking points. And we're also doing talking points we did 2 so far. You can catch it on the WOWLife Facebook page. And there's also a few suggestions of what people have said they want us to cover. Some of it is quite interesting. We might actually cover it, okay? Because I don't want to judge what anyone is struggling with. People struggle with different things. And so we might actually even go through some of those things, even though I thought, do we really need to discuss it? But we might do so. But once again, to reiterate, the series is really important because everything is about your heart, okay? Like Kay always drills into you guys through the course of this series. Out of the heart flows the limitations of life, okay? But let's phrase it differently. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Okay? And a good man brings forth good things a good woman brings forth good things out of the abundance of their heart. Okay? That means that you are actually creating. Okay? You're creating. How did God create the world? He spoke. He spoke and the heavens were created. Okay? And we are co-creators with Him. And so therefore, we underestimate the power that we have in our tongue. We truly underestimate because it's just like an uncontrolled, like blah, 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 blah. You just, you can just rattle off anything. You don't even have to think about it. And there's so many different things we can joke about, we can laugh about, but there are so many nuances to that. And if you don't hold your tongue, like you control the horse with the bridle of the horse, you are actually going all over the place. And not only that, you're creating others to go all over the place as well. Okay, so there's a great responsibility that we have underestimated. And that's why the purity of heart is so important. Because when you have the purity of heart, which we all continuously have to renew and refresh and reposition, okay, because things happen, your day happens, and then you renew and refresh your heart and you bring it back into alignment. Okay, it's a constant thing. Okay, you can't say, I'm saved, it's done, because you're just going to go to hell. Okay, and I'm kidding. You can't just keep saying that, okay, because it's a constant walk. We are being saved, okay, being saved. And that means that we are being continuously equipped every single day, that refining process of us opening our hearts, receiving His word, and allowing Him to have that transformative power in us so that we now can bring forth good things, and we can co-create with Him. We shape each other. These words that I'm speaking over you, and we speak over you every Tuesday and every Sunday, every time you sit with us for ministry, every time you listen to any post that we put up, it shapes you. It creates who you are, okay? We believe in you, so therefore you grow to the fullest of your potential. If we were here just saying, you're this, you're that, you're negative, and we pick on all your negative stuff, where do you think you would be? Right? You might leave. Yes, that's a possibility. but it creates. So we must never underestimate that. And Romans 10 says, oh my God, I feel like I'm preaching. Romans 10 says that, don't say who's going to go up and ascend into the heavens to bring Christ down. Okay, and who's going to go into the abyss, to the depths of the abyss to bring Christ up from the dead? Okay, everyone's so worried about where we need to go, what we need to do, what we need to believe, what doctrine is preached, who is manifesting Christ, the word is in you, in your heart and in your mouth to speak. Okay, the righteousness of faith speaks. Okay, and there's this beautiful harmonizing unison about what we believe, who we believe, Christ in us, and then we release and speak. It's just crazy amazing because it creates. Okay, and Christ then manifests. Okay, we don't need to go anywhere to do anything. We just be and speak, and Christ is. Okay? So on that note, I want you to get really expectant and ready because Kay is going to really labor with you guys today and pour out some important gemstones. Gemstones. Ooh, maybe there are gemstones. I don't know, maybe who knows? Hey, purity of heart, we're creating. We don't know where the meeting is going to go today. It's going to be epic, that's for sure. Okay, but get ready, okay? Once again, get ready to just receive and just be ready to be transformed, right? It doesn't have to take a long time. You don't have to say, I'll go home and process it and think about it and write it down. It can happen just in an instant, in an exponential moment, just like that, okay? So are you ready? Wow! Give it up for Kay. Come on.
Come on. This is WOWLife Church. This is your Tuesday message. This message is going to change your life. It's going to move your heart. It's going to manifest miracles even from now. Get ready. Here's the message. Take a seat. It's going to manifest miracles even from now. Okay, just understand it. If you're sick in your body, it's going to manifest miracles even from now. If you are poor and you are wanting to be rich, it's going to manifest miracles even from now. If you have something that has gone wrong in your life and you're waiting for something good to happen to you, it will happen now. It doesn't take time. Time is a construct of consciousness. Time is a construct of your mind. There's no such thing. It's very emergent. The Bible says that we live in the vast mind of Christ. And it says, now you have that vast mind. That means, literally just think about this. And I've tried to explain this in my teaching, the vast mind of Christ. If you've not heard it, listen to it. It's called the vast mind of Christ. It'll blow you away. And it's the biblical theology, the Jesus theology of what reality is. And a lot of people don't understand reality. And because they don't understand reality, they don't understand time. Therefore, they're not able to have a breakthrough. They're not able to manifest. And so the theology in the Bible on time is probably the most scientific theology you'll ever get. It's absolute science, and science is now catching up on what the Bible calls mind, okay, or time, the same thing. Mind and time are the same thing, okay? And that's what we don't get. And why I'm saying this is because what I'm teaching is that the heart, and I did a little clip at some point, I don't know, but you saw it, and I said, like, we think that the heart is beating, and the heart is beating, and the heart is beating, and as the heart beats, we're on Tuesday, okay? This is a Tuesday, right? Okay, so I can go a bit crazy with you, right? Can I do that? Yeah? Okay. So, you know, we think that the heart beats, and so the heart is beating to keep us alive, but what we don't understand is that when the heart stops beating, what fades away is your sight. And that's what you'll understand. Like if your heart stops beating, you'll realize everything goes zoop, but you're still alive. Okay, what science will tell you in the future is that a heart is not really, of course it beats to keep you alive, but there's so many other things that keep you alive than just the heartbeat. The heart is a creating machine. And the Bible talks of the heart as a creator. And the heart is the machine that creates time and space, and it's actually projecting. And with every beat, what you're doing is, with every beat of your heart, what you're doing is you're projecting your reality. Okay, and that's something that they'll tell you very soon, because it's all transmission. Okay, it's all transmission. And you'll realize that is why when the heart stops, everything dims, because you're gone. And then a lot of people will have what they call paranormal experiences, means they will see beyond the natural created world in a moment, and then time and space doesn't exist anymore. You can go through walls or whatever it is, and this realm is not solid. What keeps it solid is this projection right here. The nervous system keeps it solid. Now, why am I saying that? Because in one moment you can get healed. But it depends on how you see. In one moment, that court case that was not in your favor can be yours. In one moment, these are things that happen to me. I can demonstrate this constantly at any time. That's the interesting thing about me. I can demonstrate what I'm saying right now. Like I can tell you, like now, right now, angels will put money in people's accounts and it'll come right now, you know, right? Okay, and I can do crazy stuff like that, because most of the time, I don't live in this reality. I come to minister, but most of the time I try to be there. Unless, no, today was a rough day. I just like study and finish a paper before I run off. So I had to be really down, you know, in knowledge world, okay? And so divided. But most of the time I'm undivided, okay? But it's practice, mystery school, get there. Christian mystery school, the most profound protocols you'll ever get anywhere in the world, okay? A mystic's life put down for 2 years. Okay, you get mystery school. But what I'm trying to explain to you is that is why the Bible talks about the heart. And the Bible says if you correct your heart, everything changes. Yes. Everything changes. If you change your heart, like you want to change the external world, people are trying to meddle with the down, the natural, the substantial world without just going into the heart. Okay? And if you go into the heart, you'll realize that as you go into the heart, you'll realize that this season, as I talk of heart and talk of heart surgery, you'll see that, and we have to pray because our words create, so you have to always pray that your hearts will be protected and that there won't be anything sudden that will happen, okay? And that every manifestation that comes to your heart will be a manifestation of healing and restoration because you don't understand how this mouth works, okay? And you realize that outside of this circle, you realize that a lot of people will manifest heart issues physically. How many of you know a friend who's having that right now in the last 1-2 weeks? Okay, just, yeah. It is not even in the house, outside the house. Outside the house, outside the house. Right? Look at, you see that there? Okay, it's because of what I'm saying. That's why the prophet, he can change the reality because he knows what he's doing. But that's why I say, may it manifest not suddenly, but with healing. With massive healing. You understand it? In the name of Yehoshua. Yeah? In the name of Jesus, may it manifest. The word Yehoshua is a really interesting word. If you understand the word Jesus, it means the word, there's a, you did Greg Ordway's sort of thing, if you remember the Hebrew words. And the real name of God is the name of God that I know, that you might not know. Some of you might know. Okay, but I've never said it in my life. You must understand it. Like I never mentioned the name of God to anyone. Can you believe it? Not once. Okay? From the time I know the name of God, I never mentioned it to anyone. But the word Yehoshua has one letter that means that you can mention it. And the only reason why you can mention it is because by mentioning the name you create. The name Jesus, okay, the shin that comes in the middle of it means the name of God that manifests. So that, yeah. So that when you say, in the name of Jesus, it means now the invisible name could be seen. It's a shin. It has a shin. There's like a tree thing that comes in the middle. It's the same name of God. It's a full name of God that the Jews will never mention. And the people who know the name of God will never mention it. Okay? But as you put the name of Jesus in, you can mention the name of God. For the first time. Yeah, for the first time. So that's why it's interesting. But anyway, that was just a bonus. Okay? So you got to pay me for that. Okay, now here's what I'm saying. I'm telling you things are manifesting right now. Okay? Things are manifesting right now. I can feel it in the spirit. I can feel it in the realm of the spirit. I can see things that were invisible make invisible. But now, how do we manifest? And here it is in James. I'm going to show it to you, okay? And so, you remember there were tongues of fire that came on in the day of Pentecost? Yeah? Tongues of fire came on the day of Pentecost. Okay, so why did tongues of fire come in the day of Pentecost? Because James says it like this, okay? Now, James is writing, and listen carefully what he writes, okay? He writes like this. Okay, he writes so much here. Okay, James 3 is a mind-blowing chapter, okay, but it's so mystical. But we'll take it from verse 5, and it says, even so the tongue is a little member and boasts great things. Is it there? Yeah? It's a little member, little fellow, okay? See how great a forest a little fire kindles. You see, just in a little fire and then the forest kindles, okay? Remember the tongue was set on fire on the day of Pentecost, okay? Very important, okay? And the tongue is a fire. It's a symbol of a fire. Okay? What did God show on the day of Pentecost is that the tongue is the fire, okay? The tongue is a fire. A tongue is a fire. It's a world of iniquity. Wow, look at that, right? The tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body. Okay, that means he puts every sickness and disease to the tongue. Every sickness and disease is to the tongue. Wow. You know, when he sets the tongue on fire and puts it overhead. Okay, the tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body and it sets on fire the course of nature. And it's set on fire by hell. So you don't understand why Jesus, on the day of Pentecost, took it from hell and put it on our head from heaven. Yeah? You see? Because till then, okay, you see, you don't understand this. You see, it sets on fire. Does it say it here? It says it defiles the whole body and sets on fire the course of nature. So what happens? So there's a course. Say there's a course that you're going to run. There's a course you're going to run a race. There's a course. There is a trek that you're going to go. Okay? There's a way that your life, there's a trajectory of your life where it's going somewhere. Your life is going somewhere, isn't it? Right? Okay? And you look, oh, things are so good, it's going somewhere. You get qualified, you got a new job, you're going somewhere. You're going to go somewhere in life, and therefore there's a trajectory, linear time. It's a myth. But there's a linear time. You start from A and you're supposed to get to Z. And that's what you call life. It's a course. There's only one thing that can set on fire that course. Do you understand that? That means one word will deviate. And he says, such a small one. And then he goes on to explain that it's a little rudder, like a little rudder in a ship. Your tongue is a little rudder in a ship. And if it just goes one bit, you know, the little rudder in the ship, if it just goes one little millimeter like this, you end up in a completely different place. It's a completely different place. When you are supposed to go south, you go north just by one little murmur. One complaint, one murmur. One complaint. And the word complaint there is that word, I told you, it's a really ragon. Interesting word, it's offense. It's like, Mel used to come home to us and she didn't know, and she's here. It's her birthday tomorrow. Come on, give her a big hand. Yeah. So I can talk badly about her today. Those days Mel would be at home, and the mom and daughter, when moms and daughters get together, it's a real dangerous situation because as they start getting together, and you see this in a lot of families, a lot of Sri Lankan families, mostly, but I've seen it in a bit of American families also now when I go in. I've seen how they like respond to each other and stuff like that. And, there's this, I use the word, like I've forgotten it right now. Do you know the word I use, Mel? The word when you're talking, what is it called? I said not murmur, but I call it, come on, you should know, you're not listening well, you see? I told you shouldn't listen, okay? Because when they start talking, it's not grumbling with each other, but it's like, it's not sparring, not bickering, it's like something, come on, there's a word for this. I keep saying it, I keep saying it to her. I said, Mel, this is mumbling, it's something like mumbling, murmuring, but it's like, okay, I can't get it, okay, but never mind, I'll get it at some time, next time I'm blasting, I'll get it, okay? But it's just like on and on, and she says something, nagging. Yeah, that's good, it's very close. Yeah, nagging is good, but there's another word for it, and, whining, you got it, it's whining. It's whining, my God, it's got it, you got it. It's whining. Yeah. Yeah, I say whinging. We call it whinging. Yeah, we call it whining, whinging. No, that's the word. You're whinging and whinging and whinging. And then and they go about each other, and then it's about someone else, and then but then it's not, listen, it's not gossip. Murmuring, grumbling is what it's called. The Bible calls it. It's called this word, ragon. Whinging. And when I come in, I become very sensitive to energy. So when I come into the room, it's like it's death. It's sapped out, everything. And I don't know, you've been with bingers, it's like it sucks out the life in a situation. And they're whinging about each other. Moms and daughters do it a lot. They're whinging about not about anyone else, but about them. And about the soup, and then they're cooking our food, and I'm supposed to eat from that. And I always say grace. If you notice me, I don't say grace. I don't do this religiously with everyone else. But if you notice me, if I get food, you'll see that I put my hand over it immediately because I know whinging. Yeah, not because of Mel. Wherever you get it you get these hot shot chefs, and you go to the Michelin stars restaurant and you watch them on TV, and they're so rude. You want to eat their food? Pray over it, man. I'll tell you, pray over it. It's sickness. Yeah. Just say grace, bless his food, Lord. Thank you. Because he just blasted someone in filth, and I see it on TV, and everyone watches the program thinking it's like good cooking stuff. It's bad stuff. Okay, but anyway, okay. But a little movement of your tongue sets on fire nature. And today people are on fire. Everything has crashed and things are going wrong everywhere where they look, but they don't understand that it was set on fire some time ago. It was set on fire some time ago. And you can't help it now. The little deviation has caused you to go towards a different situation. It's a really, really interesting thing. And why I'm saying that is because in 1 Corinthians 10, this is 5-day program. And I used to do a program in America that got really famous called 5-day program. This stuff I used to teach there. Yeah, I did it here, but in America, I did this kind of stuff a little more. Okay, 1 Corinthians 10. I used to speak this stuff 10 years ago, man. And people used to think I was crazy. You see? Now they're understanding. So, but this stuff, the best technology you can ever get with food is in the Bible. Like you have, irritable bowel syndrome, you have microbes and enzymes are not working well for you in your stomach. You realize that, you can't eat certain things, you're allergic to certain things. Now all these kinds of concepts are coming out and people are realizing, oh my God, food is such a big issue. Yeah, and the complete technology for that is in the New Testament because the Jews were big on food. Okay, now you must understand this. So I'm giving you a context for food because it's in the Bible, but that's not why I'm saying this, but the context is there, okay? So just understand that the Jews were big on food, so they didn't eat certain things, certain types of animals they didn't eat. They didn't eat bats, they didn't eat, rats, they didn't eat that kind of stuff. You can see how coronavirus, they say, might have started all that. You see, I think they got it right, okay? They didn't eat certain types of food, they didn't touch certain food in certain ways, they would wear masks. Okay, they would wash their hands so many times. Like they knew everything that they're teaching that Fauci is getting nailed for now. Like the Jews could have got nailed for it before. Okay, right? Because they were very, very clean. They were highly sanitized people because we had 1 plague, they had 9 plagues. Okay, so they understood this stuff. They developed the technology a long time ago, and their food was very, very good type of food, so that their enzymes could keep them immune. Okay, so that is why all the laws are there. And so, but they were like righteous, like self-righteous vegans. Sorry, if you're a vegan in the house, I love vegans, okay? Bless vegans, okay? I like vegan food myself. But you get the self-righteous vegan. You must understand, I'm even breatharian. So you can imagine, right? So like you're self-righteous or self-righteous vegetarians. You get it? So the Jews were something like that. Because they know their food and what to eat and what not to eat. So they would always, when they see food at a table, they would always it would be a conversation like, oh, is that kosher, that's not kosher, this is not kosher, that's not good, this is not good, all that, okay? You've seen that type constantly, right? Okay, so you must understand they're coming from that context. So I'm going to read 1 Corinthians 10, but this is about whinging, gossip, and offense, okay? Or scandal. And scandal doesn't have to be on just a person. A situation can be scandalized. You understand that? Whether to take the vaccine or not, whether it's good or bad, it's got scandalized. Whether to wear a mask or not, it's got scandalized. Whether it's right or wrong, really doesn't matter. You'll realize that why I started this message saying that everything is subjectively according to your tongue is a reason. Like some people believe that they have to do certain things in certain ways according to the parameters of their mouth. You see that their heart says one thing, and a good man brings forth good things out of his mouth. And therefore he says things out of his mouth, and because he says things and because he's loose in his mouth, he has those things that he says. The Bible says, you will have what you say. Say to the mountain, you shall be removed, and it shall be removed. You will have what you say. Okay, so the system is quite beautiful because in Matthew 6 it also says the eye is the lamp of the body. That's also really interesting. It's what I first said. That means, so it's not only how you say what you see, but it's also how you see. Okay, now we think the eye is the lamp of the body, so the lamp is the one that brings light. And he says, if your eye is evil, my God, your whole body. Evil doesn't mean wicked. Evil means if you see deceived, you don't see the full picture. And now you speak without seeing the full picture. He says, how great is that darkness going to be because the tongue is going to light on fire. How great a little fire kindles. Your tongue is that fire. Okay, now watch this, okay? And I promise you guys, just don't take this because I live this, I know this, I've experienced this, I touch this, I feel it, I see it, I speak this, I'm a part of this. I'm not just one of those preachers. I'm not one of those guys who are just saying things, right? Okay, I'm saying because I've experienced, I live and I know. Otherwise I won't teach it to you. Okay, if I'm not sure of this, I won't teach it, okay? So just understand, your tongue is now has set on fire a whole lot of things, and there's a forest fire going on. Okay, in different areas, little bits of fire, that fire, more fire here, a lot of fire. Okay, and your whole body is now determined by what you have said. Okay, so, and he goes on, by spoken of vast mind of crisis, because everything is just emergent. You speak, your heart beats, you speak, you see, and you create. Everything is emergent right now. You're creating everything right now. Okay? And so it says it like this. Listen carefully. Verse 10, chapter 10, 1 Corinthians 10, verse 10. It says it like this. Are you ready? Okay, so it says it like this. Verse 9. Let us not tempt Christ, okay, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed by the serpents. Verse 10. Nor complain. Say nor complain. There you go, that one again. Grumbling, murmuring, mumbling. Okay, whinging. Okay, whinging, whining. Nor complain as some of them also complained and were destroyed by the destroyer. Wow. You see there again? Now all these things happen to them as examples. Guys, these books, these stories are just examples. As they were written for our admonition. So those stories that you see in the Bible, in the Old Testament, are just examples, samples. So it doesn't happen to you. Okay, see how much God cares for you. Okay? Now we're in verse 12, therefore, let him who thinks, so it says, okay. So you see, so we mustn't complain. Are you okay with that? Yeah. So we're not complain like some of them complain. Now you know what happened? They complained. No one got to the promised land. You know that, right? Okay. So I'll read a little bit more maybe here. Okay, verse 23. Verse 23 is nice as well. All things are lawful for me. Is it there? But not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but not all things edify. Do you see there? Let no one seek his own, but each one the other's well-being. That means he's saying really crazy stuff because he's actually saying there's nothing good or bad. Think about that. Think about that. He's saying there's nothing good or bad. You know, when I go to the USA today, this time I go into New York, and as I travel in New York, you know that smell I get when Simon comes into the house. It's at every street corner. Okay? Simon's not in the house, but it's okay. He knows what I'm talking about. Okay? He's watching. It's in every street corner. Okay? Okay? Okay, I mean, because they've legalized cannabis in New York. But nevertheless, what I'm trying to explain to you is there's nothing unlawful according to Paul's doctrine. Do you just understand what I'm saying? But now if you did it in Sri Lanka, there's going to be a problem because it's illegal still. I think some of you guys in WOW are working on it. but that's the type of church we have. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, I won't even think of Philip doing the kind of stuff here, because if he does the kind of stuff here, then the laws don't provide for it. You see? And so it says here that there's nothing lawful, unlawful, but there are things that build you and things that don't build you. Do you just get it? So what makes it good or bad is your eye that sees it. He says, if your eye is white and bright, then all things will be white and bright. But if your eye is evil, that means scandalized. Then all things are scandalized. Do you understand that? That's what he's saying here. Okay? You talk of me and sugar. Okay? You see, Fiona can eat sugar at any time she wants. And she, we both used to wear the monitor, the glucose monitor. And her sugar doesn't even, her monitor score doesn't even go up. She'll eat like ice cream and stuff like that. Okay? When I eat, like even if I see a donut or even if I see any type of thing, immediately my hand goes to pray over it. Okay? She doesn't say any grace over her sugar. Okay? Yeah, okay. It's a default mode of like, yay! Okay? When a donut sits in front of for me and for my young days, I get stressed. I think Ashanti is the same. Yeah. Because immediately I'm calculating like how many calories, all this kind of stuff. Immediately, it's just like natural. For my young days, I never ate rice or carbs or anything like that. In my young days, I had a feeling that I was missing base pairs of genes. No, not these kind of genes, but I felt, and so I was. That itself, my genetics had caused me now to judge in a certain way because my trauma and my fears had caused me to see in a certain light. And therefore, my eye towards donuts are evil. You see? And so, because of that, therefore, now for me to eat donuts is not exactly what I need to be doing. Why? Because of the scandal in me, nothing to do with the donut. Because the donut for Fiona is completely a different thing. And Gayantha. Okay, I don't know. But these are, guys, I'm saying, these are not feelings, okay? You can say, oh my God, someone was telling me, I'll watch porn. Porn is okay for me. I'm like, no, porn is not okay for anyone. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah. That's not what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. There are things that are good, there are things that are bad. I'm just trying to show you, there is no scandal on porn. I did it yesterday. For me, a person who is nude, I have no scandal on it. I went for, I was in Reading, I did, my foundation was in design. So Tuesdays was always the time that we had live art drawing. And I think you might know what live art is. Okay, so for me to see beautiful people without any clothes from the time I was 14 was normal. Okay, 15, 16, I went to uni. So there was no scandal on it. Or you will never be able to go and pray in the Sistine Chapel, would you? You think some of these Pentecostal Christians can go and pray in the Sistine Chapel? Think about it. When you look up, oh God. Do you think some of you Pentecostals can pray in the Sistine Chapel? Do you think? No, but what is it? Do you think we had more violence? Today, the Pentecostal, they close our eyes, okay, we don't show our kids violence. Do you think there was more violence now or then? Those days, they were crucify people on the road, they were murder them before you all the time. There was more violence then than was ever before, visible, touchable, seeable, experienceable. But what does Paul talk about? Close your children's eyes when they see violence or nudity. What is causing the demarcations? What is causing a man to be perverted when they see nudity? The very thing you do, closing their eyes. The very thing you do, because you got a scandal on it. You got a scandal of what it looks like, and therefore they grow up in the same kind of scandal, and they create out of the same heart. Do you understand? They objectivize everything. Come on, guys, I'm just speaking truth here. Okay? So I'm trying to show you it is our eyes and our mouth that creates our reality, guys. And so this stuff is really cool because this is what it says in 1 Corinthians 10, verse 10. It says it like this. Where were we? Verse 10. Oh, yeah. So let us not complain. We did complain, right? And this is the end. Sorry, the end of it. Verse 31. Therefore, whether you eat or you drink, think about it. Whether you eat or you drink, or whether you do, or whatever you do all things to glorify God. Wow. Do you just get it? Okay? Whatever you do to glorify God. Just get it. Now watch this. Give no offense either to the Jew or to the Greeks or to the church of God. Is it there? No offense. Just as I also please all men in all things. Is it there? Not seeking my own profit, but the profit of the many that may be saved. Imitate me as I imitate Christ. So he says, as long as you're bringing this stuff in a context of edification, is okay. If it's out of how it's going to benefit someone, okay, it's not okay. It's as simple as that. But it's good or bad depends on what it's going to do. How is it going to edify you? How is it going to edify the people around me? Do you understand that? And that is the reason why we will do or not do. Did you just get it? Okay, very interesting, okay? Now Romans 14, okay? Now this whole thing, have you heard stumbling block, stumbling block, stumbling block? How many know in the Pentecostal Charismatic Church, You say, don't put a stumbling block, Kirby, on people's lives. You see, have you heard it? How many of you heard it? And so we are supposed to be not having a stumbling block. But I want to submit to you, and I'm going to read in Romans 14, that this stumbling block that we are talking about is coming from Leviticus 19. And it says, do not put a stumbling block. Now watch this. Do not put a stumbling block before someone who is blind. You don't put a stumbling block. You don't put a log in front of the blind. Okay. I had a person who came to work for me. And, the first thing that we ask people to come is like, do you drink? Okay. So this guy was vulnerable enough to say, yes, I drink. Okay. So this guy drinks now. Now I have to evaluate this. Okay. Because this man is an addict. He's addicted. He's acknowledged that he's an addict. Okay. So now, here's the thing. Now here's where this whole thing comes in, okay? It's a very, very interesting story. There's another person who also works with me in my same house, okay? And this guy, once in a while, on the first day itself, actually, when we looked at the fridge, I had a couple of bottles of wine, and there was one bottle missing, and so then that's how we understood it. So you know the story, no? And like, where's this bottle of wine? Gone missing, and then the discussion and the whole thing. And now you must understand, we have a couple of glasses of wine ourselves. Okay, right? Now, here is where the stumbling block happens. The stumbling block doesn't happen when I have a drink in front of him. That's not the stumbling block. The stumbling block happens when it is communicated to him, the blind, in a way that I too, in the house, am also an addict, but don't want him to drink. Did you just get that? The other person who comes to my house should be able to say, oh yeah, this bottle is missing because, you drink, you have a problem in drinking. Now, our pastors also have a couple of glasses of wine and they enjoy themselves in the evening without any problem, but they are not addicted. Now it's not a stumbling block. The stumbling block is saying, දැන් ඔයා මේ බොන්න එපා මේ ඔයා වැඩ කරන් තියනවනේ. ඔයා වැඩ කරන් තියනවා ඔයාට බොන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් ඒක හොඳට බොනවා. You see, we are drinking every day, we are addicted, we are drunkards, and then now judging someone else. So now he has found that he has no relationship with God or man because he's realizing we are doing the same things we are telling him not to do. Did you just get it? The stumbling block is not the drinking or not drinking. The stumbling block is the scandal. Okay, well, I'll try another one. I'll try another one. Yeah? Yeah, it's generalized. The stumbling block is the guy who brings the block before the blind. He can't see. So is it okay? Yes, in that instance, is it okay if I say, you know what, at 7 o'clock, I want my friend not to come to this part of the house. Is that okay to say that? Yes. Because I care about his drinking, I don't want him to be tempted. But it is explained to him that it's not because I want to drink avoiding him, but I believe that he can get tempted, and it's explained to a person. He says, because this is not my life. I'm not addicted. I care for you. It's to edify someone. There are subtleties in it, but it's nuances. Because if it's said in any other way, now you bring that man's scandal onto another man's life. Did you just get that? Yeah? So with your tongue, you can destroy another brother in the way you explain something. We'll say a simple thing. I'll read a little more and then you'll understand a bit better, okay? Get ready for this, okay? Ready for this? Okay, so it says here, again we're talking about food, okay? Verse 3. Let not him who eats despise him who does not eat. Is it there? Let not him who does not eat judge him who eats. For God has received him both. Who are you to judge another man's servant? Okay, now listen carefully. Verse 5, one esteems one day, the other esteems another day. Every day is alike. Let each be, say, fully convinced. Fully convinced in his own mind. Do you eat meats? Are you a vegan? Okay? You just be fully convinced in your mind. It's not meats or vegetables. I've done both. I've gone completely vegetarian. I went completely carnivore. Okay? And I went completely vegan. You get sick doing both. I realized. You get sick doing both. I realized this. I've done this. And I've been very extreme on both sides. Okay? So it's not one good or bad. Come on. Do you understand it? It's how your heart frames it. And what I've realized in life is this. The more I learn to frame things better to my heart, the story I tell myself matters. My nervous system believes me. He doesn't believe anyone else. Do you know that? He believes you, and you have integrity with your nervous system more than anyone else in the world. And the story I tell myself matters on how that food is going to make sure that it is good for me or bad for me. And believe me, this is what today science is still not caught up, but they're catching up. There's a lady in Stanford called Alia Crum, and it's a mind-blowing experiment. She's called a milkshake experiment. She's got one milk scrape that is 500 calories, and she labels it 500 calories, and the other one she labels 100 calories. But both are milkshakes, but both are actually worth the same amount. Okay? And then she literally says, she gets people to come and take this, and then she monitors the amount of ghrelin, which is a hormone in your body that makes you hungry. Okay? And it also has something to do with storing fat. Please understand, ghrelin. Okay? And she monitors the amount of ghrelin that comes up because it's a hormone that makes you hungry, right? Okay? And it makes you satiated, full. And so she monitors straight after the 500 calorie, the one that says 500 calories and the 100 calories, and they realized that according to the description, people they won't touch the ice cream sundae because it's 500 calories, and all these lovely people come and take the 100 calorie drink. Now see, this technology understood this long time ago. He said it's a matter of conscience. And then they check the amount of ghrelin. After that, guess who has the most amount of ghrelin? Guess who's more hungry than ever before? The 100 calorie guy. And that person is storing more fat because now he's taken the 100 calories and your body thinks this man is starving. So now everything he eats, he puts on more fat than he's ever had before. And he's getting fatter than the guy who's having the 500 calories. But it all is the same. The milkshake in the test is all the same. Did you just get it? So it's not whether it's greens or it's not whether it's meats. Science is now finding out. It's what you tell yourself. It's a story of your conscience. And therefore, I've taught series after series of how to mature the conscience. How to get a conscience in a place where the conscience tells you the right story. That you're not condemned. And so that you can then eat whatever you like to eat. Come on. And you don't get sick. Come on, yeah. That's why grace before meals is a very good thing. If you can say grace before meals, because you're actually thanking God for it, and then you get very, very happy. And they realize if you're happy when you eat, the food doesn't affect you. Okay? Now, this is good stuff because I'm not just talking of food, guys. I'm talking of every situation in life. Today, you're to face different situations in life. We call it political parties. We can call it left or right. We can call it liberal or conservative. We can call it whatever it is. You know, there's nothing good or bad, Paul says, but except for what you tell yourself. I'm not talking of a subjective God. Please understand, God is holy and righteous and good. But I'm trying to say that you don't know. We don't know. We think what we are doing is right. I've gone to both sides of the USA. I've gone to the liberals. I've gone to the conservatives. I've seen that there's a hate on both sides. I've seen that both have got it wrong. And each side believes that they are absolutely right in what they believe and that they are righteous and just when it's an abomination before God. Come on, man. And it's called bigotry, and then you say words according to those things and hold fast. And the Bible says zealotry. Zealotry is this religious spirit that holds fast to their opinions without any room to move. And it's detrimental to your body, and it's detrimental to your health, and it's detrimental to your family, and it's detrimental to your finances, and nothing moves or gets stuck because of judgment. You understand that? Now, I'll finish this off, okay? You guys are doing well. Okay. Okay, Romans 14. Now watch this, okay? Romans 14, okay? Where do I get this? Verse 10. But why do you judge your brother? Or why do you show contempt for your brother? Is it there? Huh? That's Romans 10. And he goes on to this. Verse 15. Yet if your brother is grieved because of your food, because of your political taste, because of whatever you think is, but the way your eyes have seen, you are no longer walking in love. Do not destroy with your food the one whom Christ died for. Now he's talking to Jews who got righteous standards on food. Now, do you understand that? Okay, now watch this. Therefore, do not let your good be spoken as evil. For the kingdom of God is not eating and drinking, but justice and peace and joy in the Holy Spirit. What's the point of bringing a situation like if someone tells me, I just got my HbA1c, come on, from 5.8 to 5.5 in just in 10 days. It's a miracle, okay? It's a miracle that I processed. Okay, that's how I generally do miracles, okay? It's a processed miracle, okay? But it's impossible to do it. 5.8 to 5.5, I put it on Facebook. I just showed you what New York can do for you, okay? 5.8, and come back, Sri Lanka back to base, 5.5, okay? Now, what happens if I said, I'm just going to show you how this thing happens, okay? I go and say, hey, you got I was 5.8 and, New York, I'm eating ice cream and I'm eating this and eating meats and eating all this kind of stuff. And I start telling someone. And then you get all these self-righteous ones about food, okay? And then they start saying, when I say I ate meat, and like, yeah, it's good. And I say, this is my vegan friend, okay? And say, I've been trying to tell you this, Kirby, this is about meats. Meats are really bad for you, but let me tell you something, that when the cow dies, he will releases all his protection hormones and all his cursors and all those things in the lactic acid into the food. And the food, after you eat the meat gets... And I like, dude, I stopped eating meat because I know a bit, that's why I stopped. How is this going to help me? How is this amazing, intelligent information that you have, how is it going to now help me? It's the same reason like if you say you have an employee and you let him go, okay, and you realize that your employer that you employed was stealing from you. Maybe he's hammering on the petrol once in a while, and you realize, hey, he comes to work and I feel like, man, these petrol bills don't look right, boss, why don't you find another job? I'll get you a job, whatever, and you let him go. And then someone comes and says, where is the guy today, where is he? No, I let him go. I realized in my accounts that a few of my bills were not right. You found out about you? Yes, I found. Let me tell you about something. Now, this is typical Sri Lankan. Now, I'm intelligent enough to let this guy go because I know. No, but that's not enough, is it? Let me sit next to you now. Let me pull up a chair and tell you about this guy. Okay? You thought it was only petrol, but let me tell you, Macha, not only the petrol. That day when you went, that day in Nurelia, and let me tell you that day when he did this, and my God, 10 years, okay, of how he's been robbing from you. It's been told to you, and we also open our mouth and listen to this stuff. The wound that is already festered is festering more. And then we say, really, Macha, really? That day was my God, And now we're listening and we're festering more and festering more and festering more. And we're judging more and judging more. Now with our mouth, we've said certain things as well. He said, you said. Now none of you can do the same thing, that's for sure. Why, then there's something wrong with it, no? None of you can do the same thing. That means you get some money into an account for something that you're supposed to do. You didn't have any money to do something that was personal. You had to use that money. That doesn't happen to you, It doesn't happen to you, some money came that was supposed to come to something else, and first you had to do a little roll on it. It doesn't happen to you. But now you spoke about this guy and that guy did it and this guy did it and much and dirty fellow, this, that, all that. And then I tell you, immediately the same thing will happen to you. And God will test you to see. You spoke about him, no? Nicely. Let's see. And then, Even if you do it a small amount, next day you're going to get hit by a bus and die. Not because of anything. Not because he did. And then someone will say at the funeral, oh yeah, he did it, he did that wrong thing, and that's why he did. It's nothing to do with the wrong thing. It's the way he saw the wrong thing and the way he spoke about it to someone else. The nervous system has got locked. And therefore now, the tongue has caused the whole body to be sick. The finances hard. Come on, I'm trying to show you, man. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Just because we couldn't keep our mouth shut. Do you just get it? No, you won't get hit by the bus and die. Okay. I'm trying to say, those people who do that kind of stuff, no, you are not like that. No? Yeah. You're protected. You're blessed. But I watch these things. I watch when someone comes and tells me, pastors leave me, and said, the pastor is not with you anymore. Oh, yeah, Machang, I left him. Why do you leave? Machang, he doesn't know to keep his word, Machang, to me, or even sometimes even. And I'm saying it because I want to make sure that this person knows. Sometimes he can't keep his word to me, maybe even sometimes his family, he can't keep his word. Machang pulls the chair. And then sits with me and now telling me all these things about this one pastor. He says, hey, boss, I'm not interested. Yeah, I'm not interested what you know about him, man. I know something about him. If you're going to tell me why. Ask a question before you tell someone. Says, I know a few things as well. This is a better way to do it. Like, you let that pastor go. I know a few things about him as well that are very similar. I've had similar experiences. If you need to know for your help, ask me. I'm there. Otherwise, don't say it. Don't complain. It's okay to give information. Give me information. But don't come and vomit it out. Sometimes we Sri Lankans do it wonderfully. Wonderfully. When a supplier has been supplying to me, he's been supplying tea for 5 years. And then I've decided, or billets or whatever I'm doing now, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. He's been supplying sand or something for 5 years. And now he's been selling sand for so long. And then I decided to change my supplier. Okay, then someone comes and says, you're not buying from so-and-so anymore. Yeah, Machang, prices are very high. So I stopped buying. Yes, man, I'll tell you that, fellow. And then they come and tell the story. Then for you to reinforce why you stopped buying, you take his story and you have 4 more stories. And then you say, not only that, Machang, but his family life also is not good, no, Machang. And not only that, Machang, he gets drunk a bit also. And now you're reinforcing why you change your supplier without saying, I changed my supplier because the price is too high. When we switch from Apple to Samsung, anywhere in the world, they switch from Apple to Samsung without any problem. They go, I had this Apple for 10 years, now they've gone to Samsung. Nowhere do they say, Apple is a useless product, they're cheating you, they're taking all your money, just useless. Who does that? I'm asking you, but Sri Lankans do it. To switch from Apple to Samsung, Apple has to be made the demon. Apple is useless. We don't have to do that. Because one day, someone will have to switch from your product. They might have to go to another church. You understand? They might have to go to a different company. With this one tongue, we destroy everything. And as we do the same thing that guy did, that we complained about, that bus comes. You got to be careful, guys. I'm just trying to show you how to protect yourself. I protect myself like this. I protect myself. I protect my business. I protect my family. I protect you by watching my mouth. Okay, are you ready? We'll close with this. Romans 14. Romans 14, verse 21. Can we read it here? Verse 21. It is good neither to eat meat nor drink wine. Is it there? Nor do anything by which your brother stumbles or is offended or is made weak. Wow. Philip is finished. That means can't drink. Then all Christians, if you take that verse seriously, if you're a Christian, then you can't. Now today dinner is out. You can't eat meat, you can't drink wine also. Why? Because some guy might come and say, "Anna man dakka Pastor Kirby podi drink ekak ganawa." Huh? So you can't. Because he will stumble, no. If I have a glass of wine in front of that guy, he might now, the other pastors are saying, "Kirby, you shouldn't have a glass of wine," or forget about me. They're telling you shouldn't be wearing the short skirt and coming to church. You shouldn't wear the short skirt and coming to church because someone can stumble. Am I correct? Okay? So we should not be drinking wine, eating meat, or wearing short skirts. Okay? I'm just trying to bring it into reality. Because the brothers can stumble. So then what do we do? What is this thing? And what is the stumbling block? It's a stumbling block before the blind. You understand that? If someone says that he has a problem, then of course, I will be careful. Okay, if I come for a conservative meeting, I won't wear a short skirt. Think about it. I come for a conservative meeting, I surely won't wear a short skirt, but I'll let Johan do that. But, or Philip, what I do. But I won't. Okay? I've seen Johan in nice skirts. But I will. Why? Not because there's nothing wrong with short skirts. Because of the scandal. Someone will come to WOW and say, "Ayo, we go to a church, all the people are wearing short skirts." No, in the church, ayo, these people are vulgar. Now, what's the stumbling block? That's the stumbling block. What they say about the skirt is a stumbling block. What they say about the wine is a stumbling block. What they say about the meat is the stumbling block. What they say. Nothing wrong with the skirt or the meat or the wine. This is Bible I'm teaching you. It is good. Then Paul is being sarcastic. Then let's not do anything. Listen carefully. Do you have faith? Have it to yourself before God. Happy is he who does not condemn himself with what he approves. Okay. So that means from that time onwards, when they go and say, "Ayo, me palliya me wage," or so and so is like this, or all that, then I say, next time Philip wants to wear some crazy stuff, I'll say, "Machang, I can handle your crazy stuff, but these guys are not mature enough. So please wear your crazy stuff in front of me, who has faith and will not scandalize you." So therefore, those who feel that it's wrong doesn't get invited to the parties. It's a matter of faith. If it's looked at in a wrong way, we are very discerning. We can see, these guys can handle it. So therefore, when you come for my conservative meetings once a month, please wear long skirts. Do you get it? But on a meeting like this, it's a different story. Wow, you see the maturity in this thing? When you come, please understand, when you're eating something or drinking something, it says, be careful how you do it. Not because of what you're doing is wrong. It's how they will see it. It's the scandal that is wrong. So yes, maybe we won't. Maybe we won't have a glass of wine in front of someone. But not because it's wrong. No one is hiding. No one's been a hypocrite here. Please understand. But other people say, you're being a hypocrite. I'm not being a hypocrite, man. I'm dealing with people whose heart can't handle, who will accuse. And then their hearts are scandalized. And then they go and spread it to someone else. And that person gets scandalized. If you know my churches in America, you come with me, then you'll understand. I mean, just like those things are legal in New York, all kinds of things are legal there. Okay? And you see some of our leaders, you'll realize that they have some of the best doctors, the best clinics, the best of the best for everything we do. We're quite progressive church. Things that I can't even say in this country. How progressive. You get it? But if you're coming, come with a heart open. You got it? Now, so it says it like this. Do you have faith? Have it for yourself. Verse 23. But he who doubts. Wow. Look at this. But he who doubts Now someone comes and tells you, my God, sugar is terrible, machang, it'll kill you, this, that, all that. And now you're about to eat the donut. I'm guilty of this, okay, please. Okay, and I've said all kinds of things about sugar, and most of the times I say these things when people are about to eat. And they're looking at me, they're looking at a donut, they're looking at me, they're looking at a donut. Now, better not eat it. Now, better not eat it, because unless you say grace over it again, or unless you sort your heart out again, or you get impartation from Fiona, who doesn't care what I say about food, okay? Right? But he who doubts is condemned if he eats, because he does not eat from faith. Now look at what sin is, ladies and gentlemen, in the New Testament. This is the most powerful statement you'll ever see here. Whatever is not from faith is a sin. Did you just get it? My New Testament, my friends. What is a sin is when you scandalize something and you make it look like what it not is. And then now you made people fearful and frightened. That is a sin, because you've not brought faith into the situation. Whatever is not of faith is a sin. So people come, they have different situations in their life. They tell me their stories. I listen to their stories. And you will see that I don't go, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. The worst type of stories. Like, okay. I've heard it all, man. Okay, whatever. Don't worry. Come to church, keep coming, I'll pray for you. It'll be okay. Why? Because it's by faith. If I see it in any other way, if I see, oh my God, if I go back and this is what some people do, my God, they pray over someone and say, then they come back home and say, so and so came today, that guy. He came, do you know what he has done? How can anything work, man? You have no faith. He will remain in his sin. He will remain in his brokenness. He'll remain in the place that you have judged him to be, because you have created, now he's coming so that you can create a new reality over someone, but you didn't have the power of faith to see him as whole, righteous and full. And therefore they will remain in that position. Do you understand that? But this was a meaty teaching. Okay? But I have to go and I'll leave you with something. Okay? So, again, watch your mouth. Watch your eyes. Watch your heart. You understand that? And speak love, edification. If you're saying something, just say it for edification alone. Someone asked me a question. So when I used to teach this a long time ago, they said, so, then what do we talk of during dinner time? And that really showed me, like, what do you talk of during dinner time? That's a good question. That means all this time, it was a fire, set on fire. Yeah. You can talk about God. You can talk about your church. You can talk about good values. You can talk about the things that are wholesome and are good. Yeah, anything pure, anything good. You can speak about those things, man. And you see the things that you speak, you shall eat of it, and you shall have them in Jesus' name.